Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. Rainy weather moving into our territory. A local worker at Diageo is suspended, and several warnings from the Virgin Islands Police Department. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, Governor John DeYoung and Mark Walters of Vaitema met earlier today to prepare for the rainy weather. That is moving into our area earlier this evening through to tomorrow afternoon. We're looking at 50 to 70% chance of showers, and some small flooding could occur in some areas. We'll have more on that later with our weather report tonight. And in other news, Diageo's distillery on St. Croix is under fire this evening. News Channel 8's Wes Small files this exclusive report on an unfair suspension of a local Crucian worker.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Very disturbing news coming out of the liquor giant company Diageo and Captain Morgan. Delroy Thomas Jr. It was the end of the summer. Diageo promising to clean up the island. Remember Salt River? This kid was an example. He was a trophy. 19 years old, all the chemical classes you could possibly take, UVI, head of his own unit, and a 6-month probation. As he comes to the end of his probation, let him tell the story. He is now out of a job. How could a role model for our community, local, just be cut down with no paperwork from the Diageo Corporation? Thank you for this exclusive story. You've just come from the gate with police officers. Take out your badge. Tell us the story. Tell us exactly what happened.
Well, basically, I normally run my unit the way how I run it, because we're in training right now with the guys that build the distillery. I got an order to change up my mixture that I normally use for one of our propagation, and the mixture sounded weird. I still went ahead and followed through with the order from up above. That's when I was told it was the wrong mixture. It did not go ahead to a unit or anything like that. I had time to sterilize the tank, clean the tank, but yet still I was suspended with pay indefinitely on pending an investigation. I asked them for my paperwork stating that I'm suspended. I got no paperwork. I've been calling them since 6, after 6 when I got suspended. Still no replies. I had to go till the Diageo's gate with police officers to now get a response that I would probably be getting a written document stating why I was suspended. I have been told that because of my age, I'm incompetent to run my unit by my superiors. From the time I was hired in Diageo, it's been a lot of discriminated against me because of my age. They told me I'm making too much money as a young individual. I've been going through a lot, Wes. And
wait a minute. Someone told you that as a young black local Crucian, you are making too much money as compared to
them because of their age.
Them.
Yeah.
Stateside white people.
Yeah, I guess they felt that the money I make is too much for me because of my age.
How much were you making?
Well, right now I'm making $21.85 an hour,
which boils down to roughly a year.
Probably about $51,000 a year.
$51,000, and all of a sudden, bam, you're
gone.
kicked out of the gate.
Yep.
How do you feel right now?
Well, right now I'm in the air because I have rent to pay, I have car notes to pay, bills to pay, and I really don't know what's going on. And every day it's been drilled in my head from my superiors that we can be let go at any time because we have a 6-month probation. And I really don't think this is right, because we had party with the governor, Donna Christian, everybody. We was happy to run this unit, and right now the spirit of everybody who working in there is not a very good one.
And they continue to hire from Italy or Spain. I've seen these guys before with their Diageo badges at McDonald's. What are they, from Italy or Spain?
Every day I see somebody new coming from away that I really don't know who they is.
And are they registered with our Department of Labor, to your knowledge?
I don't even know.
You just went to Department of Labor, correct?
I just went to find out like my actions and stuff like that, what I can do, and And right now, I think it's very crazy that you can have a 6-month probation and do absolutely nothing and be fired even though you're doing your job.
What does this smell like to you?
Well, I think, honestly, it was just a plot because, you know, they promised the people that they would hire locals. I think it's just a plot. The 6 months is up, so they did what they say, and now they could do what they want, bring in whoever they want to run the units. Because right now, is the operators running the unit, is not nobody else. It's based on our knowledge and the knowledge that we came with, and that's what's really disappointing me. Because when we got the job, they told us they see something in us. We came with experience, and now instead of allowing us and giving us the information to run the unit, they more studying what we're about and age, and they throwed everything to me, from sexual harassment to straight down the line. They tried to come at me with everything they could have possibly come with, and I just try and hold firm.
None of this was happening when you were a model person. They actually paraded you in front of Channel 8 crew.
Well,
they made us interview you.
Actually, the interview went on, and I know what was going on with the company, but, you know, as being...
Played the game.
I played the game because I was happy to work for the company, happy to get the opportunity to now help myself and better myself and move forward. And right now, it's not looking like that. It's really not looking like that.
Well, people are watching this tonight. The governor of the Virgin Islands watches our newscast. Commissioner Bryan in the Department of Labor watches our newscast. The senators watch our newscast. But the most powerful people who watch our newscast are the Channel 8 viewers, the little people, and they will not take this lying down. Bet you get your job back right after this broadcast.
Well, I hope so, because I get everything to be, you know, like a regular citizen.
Diageo, ball's in your court. Channel 8 was always there for you. Are you going to be there for the community? Delroy Thomas Jr., best of luck to you. The courage to come across with another News Channel 8 exclusive. A giant liquor corporation. How could they? 6 months probation, almost at an end. Remember, he was a trophy model local for us, the media. They paraded this guy in front of us at Salt River on a cleanup. By the way, I've also understood that Diageo has just about stopped their community cleanups. I thought that they were going to do it, what, every 2 to 3 weeks? When was the last time you've heard of a community project by Diageo?
I haven't heard about it for a while. We've just been training.
Another exclusive, News Channel 8, this one involving a firing with no paperwork. Sent home with pay till further notice. Let's see what's going to happen to Delroy. News Channel 8 is all over this one, Diageo. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
The Virgin Islands Police Department has issued several warnings for this holiday season. News Channel 8's Wes Small tells us more.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. Today we're going to address 3 situations that the VIPD want to warn you about as we come up with this festival season. They're actually giving you a tip, heads up, so you don't get arrested. We're going to be focusing on minors, illegal videos, and also drunk driving and also speeding. Want to remind you about the minors, and the curfew is at 10 o'clock as we come across this festive season. Already recently, we've had a 15-year-old found joyriding with 3 adult males, and that youth was supposed to be at a church function. Unbelievable. His mom and dad thought he was at a church function, but he was out around midnight with those 3 adult males. And Chris Howell and his units rounded those guys up, contacted the parents, and we'll see what happens with that investigation. Shortly after that, over the weekend, involved with the Saturation Patrol, police found 2 minor females in the company of 2 adult males. Even though it was right after curfew, around 10:30 or 11, VIPD rounded up those individuals and contacted the parents of the 2 minor females. Perhaps the scariest situation involving minors has got to be that 17-year-old who was let out for Thanksgiving to have turkey with his family. And then hours later, he had a weapon and ended up shooting a 50-year-old man near the ice plant in Richmond. Now, the aunt had signed him up. I don't understand that scenario as well. Aren't these children monitored when they come out of Youth Rehabilitation Center? How hard is it to keep your eye on a 17-year-old as he comes out of YRC for a family dinner. Soon as he leaves the table, someone should be contacting the authorities. Also, Deputy Police Chief Howell wanted to remind you about the crackdown of illegal videotapes. Just the other day, approximately 700 tapes were found in a vehicle confiscated near Pueblo and Golden Rock. They're giving you guys a tip, you bootleggers out there. They're cracking down. They will be looking for you, all right? Last but not least, I want to also tell you about driving and the pedestrians. We just lost an individual the other night at Golden Rock as you watch some footage of that stretch of road. Remember Patches? He was killed right down the street at Five Corners a couple of months ago. This reporter leaving Golden Rock this morning was almost run down as people bank the corner too fast. I got to tell you something. You need to slow down on the roads. Even if people are inebriated, drunk, or whatever, they have no protection as they walk. Please slow down and adhere to the pedestrians. For drunk driving, remember Commander Pratt and so forth here. Traffic Command. There is initiative going on throughout December and also January that they will have saturated patrol. As you do your guava berry juice and your coquito and what have you, you better use that designated driver. Last but not least, let's wrap it up with Lloyd Daly. Remember that situation with the lottery department? Well, Lloyd Daly was supposed to give his say-so today. If you missed the story yesterday, we had a man who won the $175,000 grand prize, so he says, because he always plays 04325. Well, he had been crediting his tickets with dealer Lloyd Daly, but he didn't pay Lloyd before this grand prize. Now, I talked to Lloyd. Lloyd did not want to come on camera, but he did want to tell you he's been a lottery dealer for 33 years here in our territory, and you know his slogan. If you don't, I'll give it to you. It pays to play. However, you got to pay to play first. Now, he wanted me to talk to Conrad Francois, the lottery commissioner, and I talked to him today. Conrad Francois, the lottery director, told me that it is in between the dealer and the customer, the contracted dealer and also the customer. Disputes that occur will be legalized or finalized by a third party. You guessed it, you got it. That means this one will probably go to court. Okay? So now you're all caught up about the minor situation, about the illegal videotapes. And please don't drink and drive and watch the pedestrians out there. And now you're also caught up on the lottery situation as well. At Ann Schrader Command, that's a lot to digest, I know it. But stay focused and keep your head up because the bad guys are watching you. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. And also earlier today, the heads of the Caribbean Tourism Association met on St. Thomas at Government House with Governor John DeYoung to discuss the 2011 tourist season. Lee Carl was there.
These are really tough times, and every dollar we spend needs to go much further. And dollars spent in partnership enable us to do much more. Now, for our trade partners who have come to visit, we are very happy that you've taken the long trip down, and we hope that we've given you all the information, all the experience to be able to sell us better.
We recognize how difficult your job is in the economy that the U.S. is dealing with, particularly to get someone to part with that last dollar after they've paid all their bills. And I know that takes a lot of creativity. It takes a tremendous amount of marketing, and it's up to us as the destinations to really give you what is necessary to market our home, whether it's the U.S. Virgin Islands, the British Virgin Islands, or just the region. So I just want to express my appreciation, because what you do enables us to provide a tremendous amount of services in our community, from homeless to mental health, for jobs, for just economic development, and particularly here, and I think without encroaching even in the British Virgin Islands, tourism is our mainstay. It is what we thrive on, it's what we're trying to change, it's what we're trying to enhance through brand quality and by pushing and by marketing with our partners, from Marca de Ritz to Richard Dumaine at Belongo, to all our partners, to the hotels in Tortola, to the marine industry. That's our lifeblood, and therefore you're our lifeblood. And I just want to express our appreciation for all you do. Keep doing it, because a lot of people really count on you. Thank you very much.
And your Caribbean report, as well as sports, is coming up next. Stay with us on Channel 8.